Welcome to the Jaron Jarvis channel. I am Jaron Jarvis. Today, I would like to introduce to you, Disneyland ruined my life. Here's why. What you read here is true, what you believe is an entirely different thing. But I will say this, I'm not lying. I took my family to Disneyland on August 30, 1998, and aliens abducted me. I know that some of you have stopped reading now, another nut job talking about things that don't exist. Well, I don't believe in God like some of you, but still, you think he exists, so humble me. My story isn't as far-fetched as you think. My daughter was 5 at the time, Jessica, the apple of my eye. She wanted to be a princess like Snow White. We even brought her a gown for her birthday so she could wear it to the park. We lived in California, so it wasn't too far away, which was nice. I'm not going to bore you with any more jibber-jabber about our time there. I'm instead going to get to the meat of it. It happened while we were on the Alice in Wonderland ride. If you don't remember it, it was a series of teacups that revolved around one another. The track wove through a backstage part that had the Cheshire Cat and Hatter inside, each grinning like a madman in the neon purple strobe lights. I can remember this like it was yesterday. Jessica was in the front cart with Tammy, my wife, both giggling as we whirled. Jessica threw her arms up, and the teacup rounded the last open-aired track, then we disappeared through the black flaps into the Wonderland backstage part. Just before we went through, everything seemed to freeze, a small girl's tongue frozen to her lollipop as she licked the candy sides, a man laughing with his boy on his shoulders as the mother carried a giant Mickey Mouse head, the teacup after us with another smiling family grinning at each other. I don't know what it was, maybe an electric current, but the smell I'll never forget. The air seemed charged, fried, beyond static. Like that feeling when you know the TV is on even before you see it. And then bang. White. Nothing but white, and I couldn't move. I don't mean like I couldn't move my arms or legs because they were restrained. I mean I couldn't, even if my life depended on it, and I thought it did, move a single part of my body, except for my eyes. I wish that part didn't move. I wish they didn't take in the information I'm telling you now because I know how absurd it sounds. Aliens abducted me, grey, dumpy, big-headed motherfucking aliens. They chittered around me in some kind of click-eye language. I thought I saw others in a similar state in my peripheral, but I wasn't sure until now after reading the other story on here. It seems I wasn't the only one. The being poked me with dumpy fingers, each time they slipped through my skin to the muscles and organs below. The pain was unbearable. Imagine a hot iron poked in your eye, then times it by infinity. But that wasn't the worst, that came later. I didn't see any machinery like I would have imagined watching Star Trek. Even when the table I was on moved from horizontal to vertical. It just happened. 1 minute I was laying down, the next I was towering about these grey fuckers while another hobbled over. This one was more white than grey, maybe it was older? I don't know, but it was definitely important because the excited clicking stopped. I blinked then or dozed off. Either way, when I opened my eyes, it was inches from my face. The depth of its black eye was unsettling. I could have fallen into them and never found my way out. I actually think I did. The clicking started again, but this time it was in my head rather than my ears. This part is hard to explain. Have you ever spoke to someone who doesn't speak the same language? I have. I used body language and gestures to make the other person understand what I wanted. This was similar but in my head. The alien wanted to know me, what it was like to be human. I couldn't fathom it. The clicking grew impatient as I tried to understand what it was asking. The being reached up, his fingers stretched out and clenched my jaw, turning it this way and that. Its eyes sucked up my profile, melded its way into my head, and then it clicked away again. The same thoughts entered my mind. What is it like to be human? The force of the question pushed me further into delirium, and my eyes rolled. The clicking became quick, snappy, angry. For a moment I was a bystander in the temple in my head. Images flitted across my mind's eyes as I dumbly stood watching. Then the pain came. Unadulterated, pain the likes of which I've never felt. I think I screamed as the grey ones chittered and clicked. Images after images, memories after memories pulled from my mind. A never-ending ride of pictures and thoughts, people and places, decisions and dreams. I fell into those eyes, them big black pools of the abyss. I fell, and I kept on falling. Until I woke up on a side street in Guilford, Maine, over 3,000 miles away from California. I want to tell you that's the worst part. But sadly it isn't. Because although I was abducted on August 30, 1998, I woke up in Maine last year. I think they were using me for something. I have a vague memory of the illest repute. It's on the edge of my memory, but I can't seem to grasp it. I reunited with my family, which was crazy to say the least. Tammy remarried a few years after my disappearance, even had more kids. That's something. Apparently a whole case was opened, but closed soon after due to lack of evidence, or a body. Jessica, my little girl, isn't so little anymore. She's grown into a beautiful young lady, and we are tentatively finding common ground. It's been hard on her not knowing if I had died or just a deadbeat daddy up and left her. The truth is a pill that's harder for her to swallow, but she's making headway. She was the one who told me about someone on here, a colorblind guy. I'm sorry if I've got it wrong, I mean no offense. She said that she had spoke to him and that other stories are surfacing here on this subreddit. I wanted to tell my story so others could also come forward. Maybe we could even meet and talk about this together, as I think we may have been abducted by the same beings. So, for now, this is my story.